Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to end the video. There's another paid request, this time from Mark. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for Control from 2007, which I had never heard of before. And I would say this is just one of those films that just wasn't for me. It just not my cup of tea. It's not a bad film. It's just not a film made for me. Because it's about the life of Ian Curtis, the singer of Joy Division. Now, I don't know who Ian Curtis is. I don't know who Joy Division is. Apparently they were a punk band in England. And Ian Curtis was a young guy who had a lot of depression and somber thoughts and epilepsies. And he was married, and then he had an affair, and they're going to tour the U.S. But he's afraid that the seizures will kill him, and he gets more depressed, and he's not happy with being married. He thinks it was a mistake. That's why he's cheating on her with this other girl. And he thinks that, he made everyone hate him, and he's going through all this. And then, spoiler alert, folks. I mean, I guess if you know the person, it's not a spoiler, but just in case. His wife says she's going to divorce him. He gets another seizure. He wakes up. He hangs himself. And whether he can't deal with the heat of fame, he can't deal with his depression, he can't deal with his fear, everything in between. I still don't get a full understanding as to what his problem was. I know this sounds stupid to people. Well, what are you talking about there? It still is like, he's saying the film is in black and white for the entire time. It's over 2 hours. It's about 2 hours long. The actors, like Sam Riley as Ian Curtis, they do fine. I have no issues with that. But you have lines of dialogue like existence. Well, what does that matter? Present as well, out of hand. Or struggle with what I know is right, and struggle between one's conscience and heart. When looking at life in strange new room, may be drowning soon. Is this the start of it all? Like I say, he gets married early on. He sees the Sex Pistols with a group of friends. They decide to start a band. He works in this job where he helps people get other jobs. And he's wearing the coat with hate on the back of it. And he even sees someone have a seizure, which will lead to his future, which he will get seizures. They start a band. There's a scene where they're waiting to be on this show, like this, not really, I'm not sure if it's a talk show, but it's to play on the show, and one guy keeps farting the whole time. Why do we need that? I don't know. So they're able to play on TV, but the host barely said their name, so Ian Curtis is pissed off about that, and he goes, hey, you should do this and that, you're a twat, all this stuff. And then finally they're able to play, well actually no, they did a mention, then he's like, well, it's barely a mention, what the hell. Then when he calls the guy a twat, then they get to play on TV. And then people seem to like him, and in fact, they have a manager, and then the one guy who had them on TV, he wants to be a manager as well. And again, as the movie's going along, I just had this empty feeling of not being able to relate to the main character, not being able to really understand his predicament, because it's so far and away from any of my predicaments. I just feel like an outsider to the story because, like I said, I don't know the man. I did not know the band. The music isn't really my cup of tea. when I did hear the music. Now, I will say with the music, it's not them using... Because a lot of times in biopics, they'll have the actual songs, but the people are lip-syncing. No, if I understand, it's actually Sam Riley and the band playing the songs, or their version of those songs. Which I guess makes sense, because it makes it feel in sync with the film. Not, wait a minute, how did that voice come out of that guy when he sounds like this? But that voice is different. Just sometimes with biopics they do that, is that weird disconnect, but I can understand why they did it in this fashion. Well, they say he has a wife, and then they have a baby, and he doesn't really seem that gung-ho about it, and then when they're going on tour, there's a woman doing a story on them, and he starts having an affair with her. And again, they're getting ready to tour the U.S., and throughout the film he gets these seizures, which is epilepsy, and at one point he tries to overdose, but he survives. At one point, he's too scared to go out there to play for a crowd, so someone else does, and people get pissed off, and there's like a little bit of a riot, and then he's going, oh, people hate me, I made everyone hate me, and they're like, no, you didn't. And at the end, the wife finds out that he's cheating on her and wants him out, and he begs her no. But I'm like, you haven't really made a case for her to change her mind. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And I think that's the thing, is that I didn't really feel sorry for the person that much. Because I didn't see him being much of a good dad to the girl, or... That's the thing, I didn't really see much of Ian Curtis for me to either relate or feel sorry for, because, like I was saying, I don't see him being a dad, I don't see him being a good husband, I don't see him being a good bandmate, or a friendly guy. Maybe the closest is when he's helping some people at his other job. That's the closest, but there's not a lot of engaging moments for me to really feel this guy's depression, anger, fear. The movie's telling me it. It's telling me this is what I should feel, but I don't generally feel it. And again, maybe that's because... I mean, maybe if this was a story of Chester from Linkin Park, maybe I have more of a feeling to it because I like Linkin Park. I like those songs. I really enjoy those songs. And subliminal fashion I could relate to in this weird superficial way. I like those songs. And because I like those songs, and I'm listening to the lyrics, and I'm getting understanding the man, and you know that's coming one day. If they haven't done it yet, you know there's going to be a movie about Chester from Linkin Park. You just know one day that's going to happen. To be honest, I don't know if I really want to see that. Just be one big bummer. I'll just stick to listening to the songs. But again, even the punk songs, I'm not really a punk guy. I like Repo Man with Emilio Estevez. That has some punk rock in it. I don't pay, I don't punk. There's punk guys in like Class of 1984 and other movies. Punks that Charles Bronson blew away in Death Wish 3, but like I said, I think it just comes down to this type of movie just... It's not meant for me. I'm not the audience for this film. So I can say that the black and white photography made it seem a bit different. And the acting doesn't seem bad at all. It does feel a bit too long at 2 hours. And the time's kind of sitting there going... I mean, in a way, I kind of... It's not the same, but I kind of... I saw a film called A Star is Born. Which, yeah, there were other versions of A Star is Born, to be fair. But that had Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, and I thought Lady Gaga was actually decent in it. And that was a film about a guy who had some affliction, and then he was going through depression, and he was screwing up, and then he felt bad, and he felt like he let people down, and he's going to ruin people, and then some bad things happen, and that movie I got more into. I got more into the characters, I got more into feeling for these characters, and okay, I get why I should feel sympathy, and it's not be just being told to feel it. Like, I get more of where they're coming from, how they're, and I also think the acting was good. Plus, it's nice to see Andrew Dice Clay. He was in that, and liking the songs more. Like those songs of Stars Born, I liked quite a bit more than this. So, again, if I want to see this kind of type of film, I'd rather just go see A Star is Born again, which I did review on the channel. But this, if you're big into Ian Curtis and Joy Division, you know who they are, feel free to check it out. Again, this is it's not a case of me thinking it's a bad film. It's just there's some films that just not people's cup of tea, and you know, just how it is. Not every movie is everyone's cup of tea. So, with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.